Disney just released the best live adaptation film that we have ever seen. Lilo and Stitch brought back our favorite Hawaiian family, but in this film, one member was not as lucky as everyone else. Today, we're gonna be discussing why my childhood brown-skinned queen might be cursed. So let's tune in. What's up, family? Welcome into a Millie Mindset, where we dive deep into pop culture and storytelling, especially through a millennial lens. And what better way to start than Lilo and Stitch, one of the best animated films and cartoons that aired back in 2002 when I was a young lad. The original Lilo and Stitch gave us an emotional story about two siblings struggling, a grieving girl, a misunderstood weapon of mass destruction, and one older sister who's working hard to keep it all together. But as we fast forward to 2025, the main focus of the film took a complete shift. To set your expectations, if you're walking into this film thinking that you're gonna see a complete remake of the original cartoon, you're gonna be severely mistaken. This film is about Nani. This film is about her struggle to keep her family together. And as a millennial, I couldn't help but empathize with the struggles of this young woman. I've been working as a college counselor for over a decade now. And walking into this film, it was really interesting to see Nani as a young woman. In the film, Lilo's struggles remained the same as a 6-year-old girl. And Stitch, coming from space, underwent the same exact struggles as he had before. But now as an adult who got to pay bills and has responsibilities and has to take care of their family, you couldn't help but cheer Nani on as she progresses through the story. The live adaptation did almost everything perfectly. The pros of the film. Number one, the film stood true to the original concept as much as it could while remaining fresh and more grounded. Point number two, the CGI was impeccable. With today's film, I know we joke a lot about how CGI used to be on and popping before, and now we look at some of the stuff that comes out today and we're like, yeesh. But I'm gonna tell you the truth though, this was great. The aliens looked realistic, the spaceships looked fresh and clean, and three, Stitch was perfect. He remained the same size that you would expect him to be. He looked like a little blue dog. Next pro, the cinematography was perfect. The music was perfect. Everything was great. And as someone who visits Hawaii frequently and has close ties to my people over there, I love ya. The environment is true. When I'm in that film, I feel like I'm at Hawaii. I feel like I'm at the beach. I know those mountains. I know those trees. I know the culture. In the film, not only did they keep it true to the core concept, but they also kept it true to the native Hawaiian, Polynesian, and Samoan culture. Magnificent. The next pro is where everything gets awkward. The casting of the film was almost perfect. Maia Kealoha, who was masterful as Lilo. Keeping it a milli, this young lady might be up for an award after this performance. She played a 6-year-old girl going through lifelong trauma perfectly. And to be honest, it was through her performance that I was able to really evaluate and realize that I'm a unk. Look, I don't have kids, but if I had a 6-year-old little sister who was going crazy like this, I would definitely empathize with Nani about how difficult it is. Next up, Stitch was perfect. Chris Sanders, who played the original Stitch, returns for this role, and it was like he didn't miss a beat. The recklessness, fun, destructiveness of Stitch remained the same in both the cartoon and the original film. Even after 2 decades, it felt like nothing changed, which is a good thing. Our loving supporting cast of aliens as Pleakley and Dr. Jumba were casted perfectly. The film made a great choice in choosing to cast 2 humans to play these aliens throughout the duration of the film. The main reason is, let's keep it 100. When you are in real life, if you're walking around and you just see some aliens out of nowhere, you're gonna freak out. So that's what I mean when I said that the cast is much more grounded to make the film more realistic. In Lilo and Stitch, they could throw a little scarf on, put the little hat, and look fly and nobody gonna ask no questions. But in real life, that's just not the way it works. They made some new additions to the cast that I know didn't sit well with some of the original content enthusiasts, but I think that they were very welcome and a very smart choice to add. Amy Hill was added as Tutu, which is the loving neighbor of Lilo and Nani. There was great emphasis added on Mrs. Kekoa, who worked as the case manager for Nani. The emphasis on these 2 characters made the film much more realistic and showed the emphasis on needing support in a realistic, challenging situation. Quick spoiler warning. The producers made a decision to change Dr. Goomba from being just Stitch's creator to the main antagonist of the story. I know that didn't sit well with a lot of the original fans, but we gotta keep it 100. If they would have put Captain Gantu in the film, it would have thrown everything off. The man is an 8-foot shark bear who is hunting a 3-foot dog. So in reality, I side with the producers about excluding him from the film because it just wouldn't have fit. This cast already has tons of characters and a primary story. When you add something as powerful / distracting as Captain Gantu, it can take off the realism of the film. So while some people may see that as a con, I see it as a pro. So how does all this tie into Nani being cursed? Watching this film as a millennial and as a counselor, I couldn't help but empathize with this young lady and her struggles. You're talking about a young woman who lost both of her parents, is poor, can't maintain a job. Her younger sister is acting out, understandably. She has no support. She's had to sacrifice her dreams and goals as a marine biologist. And to top it off, her little sister adopts the strongest creature on the planet that brings nothing but havoc. And she's trying to piece everything together. It's truly heartbreaking. That's challenging, man. That's brutal, bro. But even all of this pales in comparison to her truest curse. Her casting. Look, there's no way around it. Sydney Agadong was a terrible choice to play Nani. Her acting was okay, but there's just no way to avoid how out of place she looked. Nobody was jacking that was Lilo's sister. There was just no realistic way to justify that she fit in with the rest of the cast. This for me was the biggest con, so much so that it even impacted for me the entire rating of the film. So with that, popping Lilo and Stitch in the millimeter, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. I know that it doesn't feel like much, but when I tell you, almost every other element of the film was perfect. It was great. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was good for adults. It was good for children. The CGI was great. Stitch was amazing. It was perfect, except for Nani's casting. Lilo and Stitch 2025 shifted its focus to the more human elements and made the film much more grounded. And with that, they made the decision to hone in on the struggles of Nani, who is the adult character of the entire film. But with all those challenges and this casting choice, do you think that she was cursed? Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me. Do you think that Nani was cursed, or do you think that this is all just part of the plan? And if you think that her casting choice was distracting for you too. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome into Millie Mindset, man, where all I know how to do is keep it 100, but more importantly, keep it a milli. Thank you, everybody. Peace.